returning World War II vets, Vietnam vets, the folks that returned from Iraq and Afghanistan, you're turning these men and women into criminals. Shame on you! This governor, and I know you're not going to admit it today, and that's okay. You give him hell. If I took a poll a year and a half ago and those polls were out there, this governor was sportsman, did exceedingly well. For 2 years, this governor focused on jobs and taxes. He told us he was a reincarnated Ronald Reagan. Now he's trying to be the second coming of Joe Biden, and he's doing a damn bad job. This governor is focused on one single factor. When you look at that piece of legislation that was forced through that legislature, there's blame to go around. There's one man who should take full responsibility. There's not a single patriot here. And I can tell you that I have never felt safer in this Capitol than right now. And I know the state police protecting us today would say the exact same thing. There's not a single man or woman here that wouldn't do everything in our power to protect our fellow neighbors. But this governor's focus wasn't saving lives. It was protecting his life, his political life, and the political life of a governor who wants to be president. And that was his only concern. Guys, a lot of you may wish that you were in a place like South Carolina or Texas. I don't know if you check the weather, you're not. You've got to understand, I tried. I have a priest on my staff, so I have a good connection. The sun came out. You've got to understand something, and we've got to keep this fight. This is the civil rights fight of our time. You listen to me. You look at what's happening to this country. Piece by piece, legislation by legislation, administration by administration. They're taking our independence and our freedom, not through a foreign government, but through duly elected officials, through our democratic process, elected by some of our neighbors, to use our democratic process to take our freedoms away. Our friends in states like South Carolina and Texas may think that the fight is many generations ahead. It's not. And it has just begun right here. You have to understand that that piece of legislation that was pushed down, especially when you look towards that assembly that I spent 4 years in, I think prison is better than its time in the New York State Assembly. You have members of the New York State Assembly south of 125th Street that quite honestly couldn't tell the front end of a white-tailed deer from the back end of a thoroughbred horse. But they're introducing search and seizure bills every other second to go after all of you. Why? I need you to listen up, and I'm going to get out of here because I need you to understand this. You've got to understand that we live in a state where the vast majority of people, especially in the assembly that serve in that legislature, they would rather turn all of you into criminals and go after you than go after the real criminals. Because they view the thugs using illegal guns that are killing kids every day, they view them as the victim. They view you as the problem. And that is what you are up against in this state. You are not here to fight for you. You are here to fight for generations ahead throughout this country, for your sons, for your grandchildren, and for this country. Because if we lose this fight, we will have lost this country. We've got to stand together, and you've got to make sure that we work with our neighbors and we wake them up to this reality. I promise you this. This is a tough, disgusting, nasty business, and I don't know how long I'm going to be in politics. But as long as I'm in politics, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and I will fight with you until hell freezes over, and then I'll fight on the ice.